Hello friends, this is Professor Parag Desle and I welcome you all in this lecture series on fluid mechanics, where in the previous sessions we have discussed some part of the flow through pipes, where we discussed that what are the major and minor losses. Then we have seen the pipes in series, pipes in parallel. Then we saw that what are the power losses in the transmission system and the power transmitted and maximum efficiency, then equivalent pipe. These concepts we have seen in the previous lectures. If you have not seen them, you can go to the channel. You will find the playlist for fluid mechanics where you can refer them. Now in the today's session we are going to cover the siphons. This is a very interesting application of fluid mechanics where the Bernoulli's equation is applied, and let us see that now. So siphon is a very commonly used application in the farming applications, where what is the purpose of this kind of arrangement is to transfer the fluid from higher reservoir to lower reservoir over a hill. Let us say there is a hilly area and there is a tank here. Yes, and I want to transfer this water or whatever this fluid is here in this tank. I want to transfer this over to the other side, which is at the lower level. Let us say there is another tank. For example, I am taking this, that there is another tank at the lower side and I want to transfer this liquid from here to here, but I cannot drill the particular masonry, or this is a hilly area. Okay, so I don't want to have drilling. Again, I don't want to have any pumping, so that this against gravity pumping is required here. So I don't want to do that. In that case, there is a very simple way to do this. Generally in the farming applications where there is a canal, let us say this is a canal, water flows through the canal. Yes, and that from the canal to the farm, the people do this. They simply take a tube and put that tube here. The water starts flowing from here to here. How it happens? Firstly, they have to fill that tube with the complete water and just dip that one end of the tube here. Automatically water will start flowing. The condition is that this level should be lower than the water level. This level should be lower than the water level. Now this is nothing but siphon. This is the farming application. Some of the applications where we need to transfer the water from upper reservoir to lower reservoir over a hill. If there is a hill like this, then what I have to do, we just need to put a tube over this. Firstly, what is the condition? You should fill up this tube with the water entirely. There must not be any air in the water. Just firstly fill up the water in the tube or the liquid in the tube, then dip the one end of the liquid in the upper reservoir. Dip the one end of the tube in the upper reservoir and leave it. It will automatically start the flow and fluid will, this complete entire tank can be emptied by this way. Now how this happens? This concept is called as siphon. This tube is called as siphon tube. And what is the use of this? Transferring the liquid from higher reservoir to lower reservoir over a hill area. Because if there is no hill, no need of siphon, you can directly transfer. Yes, but if there is a hill between them, then how to transfer this? So use of this method, that is siphon. Another application is to transfer the liquid. Let us say there is a building. There is a building over which there is a overhead tank, and the tank is filled with the water, and some cleaning purpose or for some purpose I want to empty this tank, but the problem is this tank does not have any outlet. At the lower side there is no outlet which is open to atmosphere, so I cannot leave it directly. So I'll have to evacuate this. How to evacuate that? The siphon concept can be used. I take a tube with the larger length, fill up that tube completely with the water and dip the one end of the tube into this tank and leave the other end of the tube to the lower side of the building. Then what will happen? The complete water will get emptied. The tank can be completely made empty by the same method. This is the application of siphon. So how this happens, that we will now see. What is the working of the siphon? Now as I said, what are the steps in the using the siphon is, firstly we have to have a tube. Yes, firstly take a tube fill up that tube completely with the water by closing the exit. Close the exit of that tube, fill up the water from the one side. Once the tube is completely filled, keeping the exit closed, put that one's end into the upper reservoir. So if I draw the level of the upper reservoir like this, and if I now put that one end of the tube into this upper reservoir, another end is now there in the lower reservoir which is closed, so that water is there inside the tube. Now temporarily I have closed this by some means. So what is happening now? It is completely filled with water or the liquid, whatever the liquid in the tank is. It is completely filled with that. This is the first stage. First step is to fill up the water or liquid into the tube by closing the exit, and second step, dip that upper end into the upper reservoir, and now third step, leave this exit, open this exit. If I open it, now what will happen? Water will start flowing continuously. How it happens? Because if you'll observe, when I open this water in this another side, I'll call this for simplicity as limb A. Part of the tube in the upper reservoir is limb A, and this has limb B. So what will happen initially in the limb B, whatever the water is, it will fall because of gravity, because it is acted on the gravity and this is open to atmosphere, so it will fall because of gravity. When it will fall because of gravity, there will be empty space inside the tube. When the water is getting out of the tube, that space will be empty now, and that will be filled by, and it is indirectly a vacuum. Yes, that vacuum will be created inside the tube, and that will suck this water to the upper side, and again whatever the sucked water will come here, it will fall down because of gravity, again it will suck the another water. So in this way continuous flow will start. Okay, so at this point lowest pressure will be there. This is called as summit. What is the summit point? It is the point where the pressure is the lowest, which is vacuum, which is below atmosphere pressure. Because of the dropping of this liquid, there is a vacuum inside the tube, and that vacuum is nothing but the lowest point where the pressure is lowest. Okay, and because of here is the atmospheric pressure, here is the low pressure, so fluid will be pushed from atmospheric pressure to low side pressure, and it will enter into the tube. Again it will drop due to gravity. The same phenomena will go on continuously until last drop of the water gets evacuated. Okay, so this is the concept of siphon. This is how it works. What is the principle of working here? First is that in the limb A, because of gravity, liquid falls. Because of falling of the liquid, the vacuum is created at summit, and that vacuum absorbs sucks the fluid from the higher reservoir because of the atmospheric pressure is pushing it. Okay, so this is the primary idea about the siphon. Now we'll see its mathematical expression, where we'll prove that at the summit the pressure is lower than atmospheric pressure. Now one important point is that what should be the height of this. In many of the university examinations they ask you that what should be the maximum height of this hill, so that to keep the flows, means if I keep this height of the hill as 20 let's say 1 kilometer high hill, it will not work. Okay, it has certain limitation. This height has certain limitation. What is that limitation? That we will discuss now. If you see how much, if this is vacuum, okay, and vacuum can be of any extent. Let us say that it is perfect vacuum, 100% vacuum, there is nothing. Whatever the water it is dropping with a huge rate, that the sudden vacuum is created here, and that vacuum is absolute, means zero pressure, zero absolute pressure. If such a case is there, then what will happen? What is the pressure difference now? P atmosphere minus 0. So pressure difference is how much? P atmosphere minus 0. So how much height it can, it is exactly same as barometer. You must recall the barometer. If you know the barometer, that it is a completely evacuated tube. So now this is the same case. Here the pressure is 0 absolute atmosphere. I am discussing hypothetical case. If the pressure is lowered, it is lowered so less that it has become now 0 atmospheric pressure. So what is the pressure difference? P atmosphere minus 0 is the delta P. So how much height it can rise, the fluid can be pushed up to how much height. If I want to find out that, pressure is equal to rho GH. So if I want to find out this, pressure 1 atmosphere is what? 1 into 10 raised to 5. Simplified I can discuss. So it is 1 atmosphere, 1 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal equal to 9.81. For simplicity I will assume this as 10, approximately equal to 10. Density is 1000 first, density is 1000, G is 9.81 and H is how much? That I want to find out, that how much height it can push. Okay, if the pressure, maximum pressure is atmospheric and the minimum pressure in the summit is 0, then how much is the delta P? 1 atmosphere minus 0, so that is the maximum pressure. How much height it can push? So this much height it can push. So what if you calculate this? 9.81 I am going to approximate as 10. Instead of 9.81 I will take approximation as 10. So these are the 10,000. So if I divide this 10,000, 4 zeros will get cancelled and only 10 will be there. So after simplification you will get that height, maximum height that can be obtained as 10 meter. So maximum height of the hill that is possible hypothetically without any loss is 10 meter. But this is not possible practically because of the frictional pressure drop. Whatever the pressure drop taking place in the tube, that will has to be subtracted. So this height is not possible, because when such a hypothetical vacuum is created here, that is another case of impossibility, that you cannot create zero absolute pressure here. So that is why this the height will be always less than 10, and it is in practical cases it is not more than 5 meters. Okay, so siphon can work below 5 meter. The height of this must be below 5 meter. Why this reason is there? There are two reasons. One is that you cannot create the absolute vacuum here, and second reason is that there is a frictional pressure drop in this pipe. So because of that frictional pressure drop, the energy will get lost to overcome that friction, and that is why we cannot raise this 10 meter. You can only raise up to 5 meter and less than 5 meter. So in numerical treatment they ask you generally to find out this height. Okay, so for that purpose we will now derive some equations for this, and we will prove that at point summit, let us say point summit is named as C. At point C there is vacuum. How to prove that? For that I will draw the diagram. The undergraduate students can copy this diagram now and this derivation for the examination purpose. So let us say this is upper reservoir, there is a summit, and this is a lower reservoir. Now I will draw this, that this tube is mounted here like this. It goes over the hill and again it is left. So this is your tube mounted on the hilly area. Goes deep into the second reservoir. This goes deep into the first reservoir. Okay, this is the level of first reservoir. This is the level of second reservoir. Okay, so now this is siphon and this point is C, summit. The length of this limb, let us say I will call this as limb B. The length of limb B is LB from start to end. The length of the limb A is LA up to summit. It is limb A. The tube is divided into two parts for our simplicity. That part 1 is towards this side, which is named as limb A. Okay, and the part to the other side is limb B. So its length is LB and the length of limb A is LA. Total length is what? L, which is LA plus LB. Okay, now what next? Let us say that datum is at this lower reservoir. This is your datum. Okay, and now I want to find out that what is the pressure at this summit. So I will take the Bernoulli, I will try to apply the Bernoulli's equation between this level and between this C point. So I will number this C point as section 2. Section 2 to, this depends on me that to where the numbers. So this is section 1.1, water level is section 1.1, let's say, and section 2.2. I am assuming datum as at the lower level, this reservoir level, so that is why Z1 will be 0 and Z2 will be height from that datum is Z2. That is what we want to find out, that how much height we can raise. Okay, so Z2 is the height of the summit from the vertical height. This is not the incline height, this is vertical height. Okay, because in Bernoulli's equation we need vertical height. Now what I'll do now, here is the atmospheric pressure, so that is 0 gauge pressure. Absolute pressure is 1 bar, but gauge pressure is 0. Here is the pressure which is P2, let us say P2, which is, we want to find out that whether it is vacuum or what. So if I want to apply now Bernoulli's equation from section 1 to section 2, so it is simply P1 upon rho g plus V1 square upon 2g plus Z1 equal to P2 upon rho g plus V2 square upon 2g plus Z2. If the pipe is frictionless, there is no loss, this will be the equation. But if there is loss, then we have to account HF in the limb A. Friction loss in the limb A only, not in the limb B. It will be only friction loss in the limb A. This is the frictional loss in the limb A. Okay, so this is what the modified Bernoulli's equation is now. So if I simplify this, if I try to simplify this equation, if I observe what is P1, P1 is the pressure at this point, and that pressure is atmospheric pressure, means what, 0 gauge pressure. This equation is in terms of 0 gauge pressure, gauge pressure. So this will be 0. This is 0 gauge, means 1 atmosphere. V1 is stationary fluid is there at section 1, so V1 will be 0 plus Z1. We have taken this datum at the section 1, so the level will be 0. Z1 is also 0. Now what is P2? P2 is the summit pressure, so I will number this as PC upon rho g. Instead of calling that as P2, I will call it as PC, means pressure at the point C, and C is what? Summit. So plus, what is V2? V2 is the flow velocity in the pipe, which is constant through the entire pipe, so it is V upon V square upon 2g, velocity in the pipe. Plus what is Z2? Z2 is the distance, I will call that as ZC, height of the summit from the reservoir. Height of the summit from the reservoir, because this is datum, we have taken datum here. So from datum, what is Z2? ZC. Z2 is what? ZC. Plus what? HF in the pipe A. Frictional head loss in the pipe A. Okay. So now, if I simplify this, you will observe that PC is what? From this you can get that PC is equal to PC upon rho g equal to, I want to find out this. So all these three terms will go to the other side and that will become negative. So that will be now minus in bracket V square upon 2g plus ZC plus HFA. So addition of these three terms means what? Frictional head loss plus ZC plus V square by 2g. This is negative. This much magnitude negative pressure will be there in the PC. So here it is proved that at point number C there is vacuum because the value is negative. Okay, so we can see with this equation you can solve many of the numericals where they will ask you to find out what is the pressure at the summit and they will give the other information, or they will give you the pressure at the summit and they will ask you what is the height of the limb A or the level of the summit. They will ask you to find out ZC, or they will ask you to find out HF, whatever the required is. Okay, and what is HFA here? It is the frictional head loss in the limb A. So only length of the limb A has to be taken. Total length of the pipe has not to be taken. Only L of the limb A, V square upon 2GD. And now D will be constant through the entire pipe. So the HF is what? FLA V square upon 2GD. If you want to write down this for total loss in the limb A plus B, then it will be F total length L, LA plus LB, V square upon 2GD. So if you take the ratio of them, you will get the relation between them. Okay. So this is what the formulation required to solve the problems of siphon. I hope you understand this. What is the basic concept of this? Is that when the fluid falls in through this tube, yes, the vacuum is created at point C and that vacuum sucks the fluid from the other side, and continuous flow starts until the complete tank gets emptied. Okay. And the height of this cannot be greater than 10 meter, but it can never be greater than 7 meter also, because there is a possibility of cavitation also. If you are aware about cavitation, if you know what is meant by cavitation, then you can say that the pressure inside the tube, if falls below the vapor pressure of that liquid, then cavitation may occur, and that is the possibility. So that is why also the height is kept lower. Okay, and again there is a friction loss, so 10 meter cannot be possible. So it is more than, not more than 5 meter, it is okay. So this is what the siphon is. Any kind of questions you can comment. I think we have covered all the theory part of the flow through pipes as per the UG syllabus of many of the universities. Now onwards, in the incoming sessions, we are going to discuss numericals over this flow through pipes, numericals over the siphon, numerical over the pipe flow in the series and in parallel, then power transmission, and Darcy-Weisbach equation, friction loss. So all this content will be covered in terms of numericals. So see you in the next lectures. Thank you.